Good morning, sir. What do you got? You got a toy. What's this?
It's for the miter saw, so we can get it off a workbench.
Which one?
The Hitachi.
Oh. This fits the Hitachi?
They're universal.
Really?
Because the feet slide in any direction, you got long slots for the pattern. So
It's blue. It's quite festive.
it's quite lovely. They were on sale. It's like,
What's this do?
That's for your rests.
Oh.
Which...
Ooh, it's excited to see me.
Yeah.
Oh. How about that?
Rest/stops as well.
Hi there, guys. Welcome to today's Captain's Blog. It's 10 a.m. on Saturday, September 23rd, 2017.
It's Christmas Eve.
It's Christmas Eve. And hi, welcome to blog people, because fuck.
When was the last time
We haven't done, like, it's been the worst month ever for blog.
I told you, strap a GoPro to my head.
Does it matter which one goes where?
Yes, because this one has the wheels. This is the stand. When you have it on wheels, this is the kickstand, essentially, to keep it standing upright.
So, you want to tell them why it's been the worst month ever for blog? Because, fuck.
Well, you've just been selling Bitcoin.
I've been stuck in office mode all month, which kills my soul because I have shit to do.
Also, it's been kind of boring.
Yeah, we've had this shit going on, and I'm not gonna shoot a million. I've already shot a lot of video of that. High voltage is just waiting because we have Christmas rush, so we're getting hammered on tags and Etsy stuff, and there's a lot going on. We're all really, really busy. It's just really boring, and it's nothing worth blogging. There's new staff people that you haven't even met yet, so we're gonna fix that. You happy with that?
I'm pretty excited.
Okay. So what's this shit? What goes here?
Probably some other attachment.
The saw sits here, right?
Right.
Okay.
They might have some other accessory thing.
So you want to?
Or actually might be for lifting.
You want to show them the horn? We did the horn.
Oh, I did the horn. Spoiler. Might have the lights on it today too.
Yeah. Okay. That's not bad.
I like it. I like it a lot.
It's weird that it's covered. You sure it's supposed to be covered?
Keep the water from getting into it.
Okay. But sound goes through.
Yeah, it's a really thin, weird gaskety material. It's kind of cool, but yeah, it's to keep water from getting in there.
Huh. Okay. I believe you. And these are the lights that are going to mount?
Yep. I'm going to start with some fancy...
And someday this light will arrive. Someday. If you want to hit this with a magic eraser wheel, you can. This shit can go. Minkus will know where it is. So we got the... Oh, well, I was going to... Oh, there it is. Okay, so I was like, what the fuck, man? But we got the panel done. This is cool. That's got to get labels. It's got sparkles for Batman. It replaces this, because the old panel was shit. Yeah, we like switches. So we have nav, blower.
No, it'll be lights.
Well, this is nav anchor lights.
Nav and anchor lights. This will be floodlights.
Okay.
Blower and bilge.
Blower and bilge. All right.
And then horn.
And then the
kill switch.
Then we replace the emergency death switch.
Yeah, they didn't have one.
Yeah. So that's way more better.
I got you your Christmas present if you want.
I'm wondering when I should hand out Christmas presents to this guy.
I've already been handing them out this morning.
Oh, okay. I saw what you got, Moose. That was pretty cool. It's funny. I got her a kitchen thing, too. You gave her a kitchen thing. I gave her a kitchen thing. She can't cook. We keep giving her kitchen things, but, you know.
Well, at least with mine, she can open the frozen meal packages.
Okay, well, there's that. She's getting a lot better at not cooking than she was a year ago. I mean, 2 years ago, she was like a death sentence for anybody in the kitchen. Now it's better. Really low bar. This for me? Oh, right here.
Ho.
That vintage wrapping paper. See, I see wrapping paper like this, and I gotta wonder, did you actually find vintage wrapping paper?
No, I've just
Or
had
is
that.
this something that came in on a donation from some old lady who had it in her basement?
No, I bought that like last year. It's right off your wish list.
Oh, it's not what I thought it was. Now I'm curious. Oh, I know what these are! Oh, kick-ass. Alright. The internet's... This is not what you're expecting. Okay, this is for... When you're a kid, did you ever see those little tiny pool games? Where, like, you have the spinny yellow wheel and you flip it back? These are pool cues for one of those really tiny billiards games. Now, these are actually chopsticks.
Yeah, I just remember that.
Yeah. I do a lot of adventuring in the summertime. And I
It goes with his titanium spork.
I do.
You have a titanium spork?
I have a titanium spork because I am a spaz. But I do a lot of stupid things that you should never ever do, and don't ever do this, like hopping freight trains and just fucking off on adventures. And these, pack small, play big, because you can do a lot with chopsticks. So, thank you, sir. That is awesome. I don't need any. Yeah.
I do love that they come in a little carry pouch and everything.
A little chapstick pouch. It keeps the schmutz off her. So, yeah, thank you. Alright, I'm going to start handing out Christmas presents for the staff today. And chopsticks. That's cool. Ah. So... Hi, dog. Hi, dog.
Hey, we have a box that we haven't had a chance to open for viewer mail.
Okay, we could do viewer mail today.
We should do that.
I'm down.
Because it's been hanging out here, sad. Oh, everybody got to watch this one.
Yeah, why did I do that? That's gonna be a fucking gift now. It's gonna be a thing.
From
Here.
Damon Wales.
Oh, I know that name.
Well, no, we're gonna do it on viewer mail.
At the appropriate time.
I'm just letting you know it's been
Alright.
waiting.
Stay tuned for viewer mail. So, I gave you a thing.
Yeah.
I have gotten no small amount of entertainment out of this. You want to tell them what you got?
Well, I got a 200 QX. Just a battery.
By the way, if you look downstairs, you'll find the battery door for that.
Oh. Well, anyway, I got the 200 QX. I got my battery.
Okay.
My Spectrum is properly set up.
Are you shooting video?
No, I'm just going live.
Okay, but in this building, we do not ever shoot vertical fucking video. Okay, and you're doing that right now.
You're right.
Okay.
I'm sorry, you're right. I
You
did know better.
got one shot at that, and that will never happen again.
Okay. So
You have to
heard it,
stop
guys.
recording and then flip it. You got to change it. I don't think you can just, because if you do, everybody at home will just see horizontal. Yeah.
So it says that this is connected now. According to the LED chart, this is ready to go. It's in stability mode.
Okay.
It says in order to take off, you move both
Oh,
sticks
yeah,
to
that's
center.
why I wasn't doing it.
Okay.
And then you let them go back to center and adjust the throttle. And there's
Okay.
nothing.
Well, be happy it isn't working, because if you did, that thing would be in the ceiling right now, and two of us would be bleeding.
Well, it's not working.
Yeah. Okay.
But I knew that it wasn't going to work, which is why I'm totally fine. Just,
Okay. What happens the moment you figure it out and then eat that thing?
well,
You're going to
Sure,
learn
I'm
some
gonna
painful lessons.
go quiet when I figure it out. But
Oh, yeah.
seriously, I can't figure out what the hell is going on. Like,
Okay.
I'm doing everything right. I've got
Are you?
everything set up properly. I went through a guide and I went through the book
Okay.
to get everything right on the remote. But I just can't get the throttle to activate. It won't go.
Okay.
Any ideas?
Yeah.
What's your idea?
I know exactly what you're doing wrong.
What am I doing wrong?
I'm not going to tell you.
What am I doing wrong?
No, it took me a week and a half to figure it out. I'm not telling you.
Oh, come on. Don't give
No,
me shit.
the learning is the process.
You're
That's the
supposed
point.
to
I
be
want you to solve the
The
puzzle.
guy who tells me not to make the dumbass mistake he made waiting a week and a half to fly.
I told you, don't turn it on inside, not an indoor toy. You responded by immediately trying to arm the fucking thing on your desk.
I took it outside this morning and it didn't go.
Okay, there's like 1,000 people at home who just watched you try to arm the thing on your desk.
Yeah.
You can't win this. I've got live people watching it. I've got internet people.
It won't go though.
Yeah,
Like, I knew it
and that's
wasn't
why
going to
we're
travel.
not going to the emergency room right now, because A, you can't fly it, as is demonstrated by the fact that you haven't figured out how to turn it on.
I knew that it wasn't
So
going
you've
to go.
lost this so hard.
This is why I was okay with powering it on inside, because I knew that I was not going to get anywhere with it.
Yeah.
I kept wires inside of it last night before I left.
So anyway, I have no idea. I
Yeah.
don't know what the hell I'm doing wrong.
You'll figure it out. It'll take you a while. And you'll be really proud when you've got it.
Well, I've read the whole manual from front to back and still haven't figured it out.
Yeah, the thing, okay, here's the thing with reading Horizon Hobby manuals, okay? Or Blade or E-Flite or whatever the fuck, I think they're Blade. This has hidden treasure buried inside. And they will say, like, in an unrelated area, they'll drop a 4-word sentence that really should be printed in 72-point font on the front fucking page, and you're just going to blow on by it. You have to actually read every word of that manual. You have to read, follow, and understand all of the instructions, because they write them for a reason. They just hide shit in there. And I think that part of that might just be a stupid test. If you don't actually read the entire book, you will not be able to turn it on. Because I read with bunny rabbit ears the manual like half a dozen times. And then you'll find it. It's in there. And you're going to have a moment of, ah! And you're going to do one little thing, and then magically it leaps into the air. And with the joy of a young boy, you'll be like, I'm flying, Dad! It's coming. You'll get there. I give it 2 more days. Because I have given you way more help than you know. Because I've given you a radio that you know works, a battery that you know works, and a quad that you know works.
How do you know the quad works?
Because I've flown it.
When?
I was the last person to fly it, because I know how to turn it on.
Are you done?
I'm awesome. I'm doing great. It's fun to watch him beat his head against it, because, well, if you've seen the blog, you watched me in my first year. Don't start with helicopters. Just don't do that. Whole first year helicopters crashing that little fucking thing in the wall. Hey, Batman?
Yeah.
That's, I don't think it's supposed to go like that.
Actually, this is how you would fold it up. If you want to
Yeah,
fold it up.
I think that's the top. I mean, this is cool. It really is.
Sideways chop saw.
It's a brilliant manipulation of positive and negative space. I mean, you've got a modern art masterpiece right there.
Call it cow who sits.
It's not bad. It looks a lot more Wheatley than it is. Like
Right,
you
and
you
it's
grab
actually
hold of
pretty
it, and it's
scoopy.
actually
You're
it's
like,
it's pretty well built.
But I like this because it comes summertime when people want to build things like tiny houses or something like that. They can just wheel the chop saw the hell outside and cut
That'd be awesome.
all the 2x4 outside.
Well, this summer we've got to we've got to have the process of, like, we've had the bring the house into building and build a house. This summer we're going to have we have to go somewhere and build a house.
Yeah, you're acting like that's not the first time you've done that.
Yeah, I know, but we've never actually built a whole house before. We're really good at taking them apart. We're
Pretty much gone to the...
we're really good at taking them apart and realizing, oh wow, this place is fucked, and then getting rid of it. But my house had hollow walls. They were brick and exterior, hollow walls. So.
Geek House 5 was just shit.
Yeah, Geek House I was just shit. Oh hey, I mathed it out. You know what my dome's gonna be? Geek House 10.
Yeah.
That's kinda cool.
So if we ever make it to 13, do we just skip 13? Like
No.
we just go 12 and then right to 14?
Oh, fuck that. 13's his house. We'll paint it black. Whole thing. We gotta think of what street would you put Geek House 13 on?
Yeah.
gay street.
No, no.
Totally.
Personally, like because if I have to think of the unluckiest street in the city of Grand Rapids, that's easy for me. It's a big street, goes all the way across the southeast side. Kalamazoo.
That's too spooky for my level.
Yeah. We'll be back. It makes me piss my pants and turns my nuts numb. Hi. I like Christmas. It's beginning to look a lot like syphilis all around my asshole. Hey, it's doing things there. No, I didn't do it. How's that working out for you? Go for Chris.
Customer asking about a treasure?
I'll be right there. Hey, doesn't work.
I see that.
You still, you haven't got it figured out yet. Hey, Taylor. Doesn't work.
I see that.
You told me you had it figured out. You said you had a thing. You had it all worked out.
Followed all the instructions. What the fuck am I doing wrong?
Hey, doesn't work.
I see that.
It's not flying or nothing.
So what am I doing wrong here?
The controls.
What do you mean?
Well, obviously, that's lit up and ready to go, so it's got to be PEBCAC, really.
Well, I followed all the instructions on the setup for the remote. I got it.
Does it fly? Well, then you didn't follow all the instructions. You can tell because it doesn't fly. Hey, some important stuff to know. Okay, here's two little things you really want to be aware of. One, when you put the battery in that, have it sitting on the ground because for the first 5 seconds it's going to calibrate its little gyroscope. And if you've got it upside down and then you set it down, it's not going to fly right. And two, because you don't know how to fucking fly yet, have that facing straight ahead and away from you. Like from where you're at, you're gonna stand like this so that forward is forward and back is back because you don't have the muscle memory of being able to take off backwards yet, and it'll hurt really bad. Let me see it. Here. Cool. You've got a good bind. Yeah, you're well on your way.
If I've got a good bind, why is it giving me throttle issues?
I don't know. I gotta show you what I'm doing. There's no way I'm gonna show you what I'm doing.
For fuck's sake, dude. I'm just trying to learn how to play this goddamn thing.
No, I can show you what I'm doing.
It's beginning to look a lot like bullshit.
There you go. Oh yeah, it's tip top.
No, come on.
It's working just fine. It's doing everything it's supposed to do. It's doing exactly what it's supposed to do. Give me a couple days, I'll get it. It took me like weeks. I had to call tech support. I'll be back. So you know how you just said, I'm really sad that I got it in the air for like half a second and then it crashed?
Yeah.
Okay. That was my entire first year of flying.
Oh, well.
I went through 4 helicopters before I had like something that would stay in the air for more than 30 seconds maybe. Like it was a great, glorious day when I first ran my entire battery pack down. Like I kept something in the air long enough. I have like 3 of these batteries. Find them, you can have them. Because the only thing I have that those batteries go to is that quad, and they're all for you. Okay, this is what you need to know, all right? This is Kidwell's charger, and he's not here at the moment. So, all right, this battery is 2S, which means 2 series cells. Like this battery here, if you look inside, there's one cell and one cell. 2 cells make this battery, right?
Okay.
So this is a 2S battery. So 2S, as opposed to this, which is 3S. This is 3 series cells.
Okay.
Okay. And then the nominal voltage of that is 7.4 volts because they add together. Because they're in series, so they add together. This battery is 800 milliamp hours of capacity. So to charge this battery, you're going to give it 0.8 amps. So we got to find the plug that fits, and you've got 2 here. You've got 2 cells, so you have a balance plug. All the shitty little super tiny batteries like this, that's a 1S battery. So that's just one cell at 3.7 volts. So it's just got one plug. All these other ones, you have the main plug. That's dumb. I don't know what the hell's going on with that, but I figured that out. That's not one of my batteries. It's probably Sam's. So you've got the main, this is your output plug, and then when you charge it, you have a balance plug as well. You'll hook them both up. So we're going to put you on this charger, we'll put you on mine, and you're going to need this plug, so we're going to steal it from Mr. Kidwell, because nobody really likes him anyway. So we're going to put that in there. Actually, we're going to put you up here. Okay, so the first thing you do is plug in your main, and it only goes in one way. They're keyed, so you can't plug it in backwards. And you check and make sure black is on top, red is on the bottom, so their colors match.
Okay.
And then on here, this is your balanced charging board. You can see there's a 2S, 3S, 4S, 5S, 6S, right? And these are keyed, so they only go in one way. So you plug that in. Now we have a 2S, 800 milliamp hour. Those are the things you need to know. So we go in here, and we're in charge, and you don't want to be in charge. You want to be in balance. Because for where you are, fuck off. For where you are, just starting out, watch through here because you want to make sure you actually catch this. For where you are just starting out, every time you charge a battery, you balance it. Just every time. You don't have to, and it's kind of a waste of time, but at your level where you're at, just balance every time. It doesn't cost you anything but time, and you're going to have like 3 of these batteries, so you're cool, right? So we're at 0.8, or we're at 800 milliamp hours. So we're going to click start the first time. And now that's at 1.3 amps, which is set up for one of the big quad batteries, and you don't want to do that. So
it's
we're
too
going
much.
to
We
go.
need 0.8.
Yeah, you do that, and you'll set the battery on fire.
Let's not do that.
So 0.8.
Okay.
Okay. And then 4S. That's a little high. So we're going to go down to 2S, 7.4 volts. It says 7.4 volts, 2S, and it says right here 7.4 volts, 2S. So it's not rocket science.
Right.
And then you click start. Okay.
It's
and
not
now, as
rocket
long
science.
as you just leave that set up like that, you won't have to go through that anymore. But now you know how. So you press start, hold it down until it beeps. Okay, then let go. It's going to check and say, yup, it is a 2S. Okay, and then you press start again to confirm. And now your battery is charging. Okay. And it's going to show you here how much amps you're drawing at this moment and what the voltage on the whole pack is, and then how much time it's spent doing it. You press the button again, and this is the voltage on the pack. So that's a little low. That wants to be up at about 4.2 when fully charged. Now, on every battery you touch, every one of these has a yellow danger, danger sticker. Okay, read that, believe that.
Because LiPo.
Because LiPo. These really want to be on fire. And the moment you don't respect them, and the moment you get complacent with them, and the moment you're not terrified of them, they want to be on fire. So you have to be on top of your battery game. This is not something, like, you don't charge one of these on your carpet in your apartment and just, like, fuck off and let it, no, because people have
metal
burned,
table.
Yeah, there's a reason we have metal table and a bucket of sand, and all the batteries are stored in big metal boxes with vent holes and shit. Like, there's reasons.
We even have a danger sticker.
Oh, I got a pile of those. Somebody sent them in. They're really cool. So that's how you charge your battery. You just put it on there, make sure your settings are right, and just read the battery. Okay. And it's not hard. So this battery here would charge at 3S, 11.1 volts. Now, this is 3,000 milliamp hours, so you'd charge this battery at 3 amps.
3 amps, yep.
Okay. This is 1350 milliamp hours.
So 1.3 amps.
1.3.
Or 1.35.
And down here, we've got this little dude, okay, 2S at 200 milliamps hours, so that's at 0.2 amps.
Okay.
Okay, and you just, I charge everything at 1C across the table. I don't, you can do stuff like charge it at a higher C rating and stuff like that. Don't do that. We charge everything at 1C.
Okay.
Hey, that back corner.
I know, it still smells of cat piss. I'm pissed.
Okay, crawl up his butt. Fix that. You don't fix that.
No,
Dude
there's
who owns the
a
cat
solution.
fix
But
that.
anyway,
Okay,
there's a member who's very excited to learn about us. You should.
Oh, cool deal.
go do your thing.
Can do.
You're gonna have to put it through here first.
Yeah. It's my favorite part, though.
Little rubber nipple.
Little lurps.
So I'm thinking, the only reason we'd put this guy out here is because at the time we had lots of like plastic and shit to cut
Okay.
in the machine shop. It's not really a thing much anymore.
At the moment, that'll change, but at the moment. Okay.
I'm just thinking of putting this one in the wood shop and just put the DeWalt in storage, just keep the dust.
Oh,
level
this is
down.
gonna be tough.
What?
You gotta like slide this one in and then put this one in and then
Oh.
hopefully we got enough room. No. No. Damn it, Hitachi. What? Shoot up to the bottom.
Oh no, it has a little track on it. You can't notice it.
No.
So this guy's got to built into the nut on it.
That's gonna be difficult.
I know! Especially since that was spelling. This is getting all on.
I'll hold it upside down. Yeah. Just push on the other end.
Smarter than
Let's wait to say that till we see if this way works. Because that one doesn't have a trap, I don't think.
I'm like 98% sure I'm going to.
Did it come in? Yeah. What do you need?
You can go help.
Then you gotta turn it down.
Turn the power down.
How fit are you welding? Like 8-fit or...
We'll be back.
If you turn the gas on? Yeah. Alright. That fixes a lot of problems.
I knew that.
We're up and running.
Works way more better now.
Way more better. That's
Okay.
gonna be a little crappy for the first second or two, or just pull the trigger and let it purge.
Alright, going in the shower.
Okay.
Happens to the best of us.
Nice!
Yeah.
Way more better now?
Way more better.
Cool, happy to help.
I'm gonna start doing dad jokes. But it's gonna be bad.
They're funny though.
Say dad or
Come on back.
Same thing.
So what's with the quarter saws locks?
You gotta find someone.
We produce a lot of educational content here. Everything from basic tool training to how to make a Tesla flow, put it in the garage, and piss all your neighbors off. This side here is the YouTube studio. Not only do we have about 650 members right here in the local area, but we do have about 25,000 worldwide. So spread across 160 different countries. So they end up sending us packages every now and again. We open them live on air for them here in the viewer mail station. The next one back on this side is the autopsy station. So this is where we take pieces of equipment apart, we show what's inside them, we show how they work. It kind of harkens back to when you were a kid pulling your parents' DVD player apart. It's kind of the same thing, but taken to a different level. We do everything from x-ray tubes to antique pianos, 8-track players, all sorts of stuff. We pull it apart, show people what's inside of it, how it works. This side here is the Your Dinosaurs Are Wrong stage. So what will happen is a viewer will send in a toy dinosaur. And we have a guy here who's super, super into dinosaurs, so he'll do a video series where he shows the difference between the toy and what the actual dinosaur would look like, where it would live, what it would eat, all that kind of stuff.
So you call this reverse engineering, maybe?
Yes, pretty much.
All right.
All right, come on back. We'll take a trip to the MDH here. So here's the try to sardine pack everybody kind of in this hallway before we go in. It's typically speaking loud in there. But this room you're about to walk into is the main demonstration hall. So that's where a lot of our bigger tools, bigger demo stuff that's not going to fit in smaller rooms is. Just remember as you're walking through, pretty much every tool, every piece of equipment you see in there, it's all for you guys to use. Beyond that, there's a sheet router as well. This is by far not the most detailed piece that it can produce. I've got a much better demo of that on our way to the wood shop that I can show you guys. But remember that this is something that you can come in here, get about a half-hour training and be ready to use.
It's 3D or 2D?
Sorry?
3D or 2D? 3D. Oh, it's your depth.
Yeah. So come on, go ahead and cycle in through here and kind of check the machine out. Go to vertical. What's that? Go to vertical. Just stop. What's that? Yeah, it's kind of a loud room, so you don't really want to be in there when the piece is being produced. That's why we have the screen there, so that you can still watch it being produced without standing right in that noise. And make sure I'm not locking anybody in there. How many of you guys work on your own cars? You do. So on this side right over here, We do have a lift here. This whole area is open to work on your cars. You can book it right on the website. So if you have a car repair in mind and you want to get it done, you can just schedule your time right there on the website, pull in, we'll show you how to use the lift, use the car up. We have the tools to do everything from an oil change to a brake job to a full motor pull and rebuild. We've got everything that you could possibly need. There's also a welder behind the black curtain there. And we have so that's a MIG welder. We call him the Jolly Green Giant.
Do you EVs in there?
What's that?
Any electric vehicles ever show up?
Not that I know of, but a lot of that really boils down to difficulty working on electric vehicles. Not a lot of people work on their own. They're new enough that they send them to dealership and repair that. So on that side of the room, the big white robot you guys see is Project Electric. That is a KR350 6-axis KUKA industrial robot. The payload on that is about 700 pounds. That is open for member use, so you guys can walk in, pick up the manual, and start playing with it. We don't care whether you want to make a robot roller coaster or have it chop onions. Totally cool with us. The only rules are don't kill the robot, don't kill yourself, and don't kill other people with the robot.
Can it grab?
You can attach an arm to articulate, yes.
Josh, were you helping the guy with 3D printing? Yeah. Go back on that. I didn't know you were helping. I didn't know you were actually helping.
So as you can see, I want to get you a little bit closer. You were asking about the arm articulator. There's different attachments that have great benefits. We actually have one that is custom Boden on this for a camera. The eventual goal is for that camera to record high-speed footage as it moves across a front. Right now what it does is it demonstrates permanent focus. So when you have that running, you'll have a team sitting at the bottom of the robot, and it will focus on one point as it moves through all the axes.
Where these guys come from?
What's that? A lot of the computers come from donations. Some of it is just broken stuff. And I'll kind of bring that up for you guys later. The room right on your left here is the tool crib. So pretty much any hand tool you'll find in that room. The left side is all dedicated to your non-powered hand tools. So pretty much picks, hammers, drills, sockets, wrenches, anything like that. The other side is like your sanders, your power tools, and that's all in the back room.
Okay. Is that a magnet? What is that thing?
So the sheet router, this door is a great example of work that you can do with it.
Right.
So a lot of homeowners, they come in here and tell them this is a prime opportunity for you to do something for your house, whether that's cabinets or doors, or even grates, all kinds of stuff that you can do on the sheet router.
That was solid core, obviously, right?
You got it.
Yeah.
So we have our flagship program is Computers for Families, and what we have is some companies that really like us, and they will donate their desktops, their old desktops when they upgrade to us. Okay. We refurbish them, outfit them with a Linux distribution, and put them back out into the community. So the people around us know, and especially in this neighborhood where, I mean, 90% of the people living right behind us are working 2 jobs just to make ends meet. We're living in a neighborhood where the local high school has a 17% proficiency rate in math. So what we do is we provide computers for $25. Any guy that's on the streets behind us knows that they can come in here and get that. We also offer laptops for $100. So a student doesn't have to go down to Best Buy and try to afford a brand new laptop. They can come in here, their parents can grab them a $100 laptop, and they can be on their way. And because it's running Linux, of course, it's faster and it's more secure. So,
are you guys non-profit or for-profit?
Non-profit.
Okay.
Yep. We are a 501c3.
Someone could donate their laptop.
Absolutely.
Tax break.
Yep. Okay. So that's a lot of it is these computers that come in that are donated, that's what we're doing with them. We're refurbishing the ones that we can, sending them back out into the community. So, this side here, of course, is the wood shop. It's probably pretty familiar for a lot of you from high school, but this is where a lot of your major woodworking tools are. The back room on this side is a finishing area. So we do have 2 sandblasters back there, and there's also 5 paint booths to use. You guys can feel free to cycle in there if you want. I don't want to try to pack myself in, but
Where's your dust control in here?
Yes, we have a shop box back here, and we also have a dust FED as well.
Okay.
So sawdust is a non-issue here.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, we have a lot of shop vacs floating around the building. It's a pretty common thing. We just walk in a room, grab one. So.
Nice.
Once everybody gets a look in there, we'll migrate downstairs. All right, come on down. Let's run through the other labs that are in the downstairs area. I'm not going to bother taking you guys up there. It's not like anything super impressive, but if you need a room to blueprint or draft or anything like that, if you walk up and around the corner, there are 4 cubicles side by side. They're isolated cubicles. They have doors on them, whole 9 yards. They have a desk surface in there and a dual monitor setup, so you guys can use that area for planning and drafting if you need a quiet space. So this side is the on-site IT lab. Now this is not only where our team works on our networking, our infrastructure, the PCs that are on site, but this is also a spot where a member can come in with their computer and pull from our parts surplus and all kinds of stuff and be able to fix their computers here on site, whether that's hardware or software. We have knowledgeable guys that hang out down here that can help as well. We even have a dusting station as well, so if you just got an old dusty desktop sitting at home, you can bring it in and clean it. Where are the lights?
I was just going to ask you the same question.
Okay. We'll have a tour in the dark. It'll be fantastic.
Huh.
Well, at least the rooms that are important have lights in them. Okay. Crowd on in, crowd on in. Where is my demo board? Somewhere around here. So welcome to the electronics lab. This area is set up to pretty much go through all parts of electronics and board production. The computer right there is set up with software to design your own board, and we actually have a mill here that will route your board out for you. From there, you just need to put your components in and solder. So if you look around the room, you'll see components pretty much on every single shelf. If you've never soldered in your life before, that's totally fine. We got guys here that can teach you how to do it. That's a big thing to know, is that in your membership here, your training is included. That's one of the many things that sort of separates us from the rest of the, for lack of a better word, Makerspace world, is that we are a nonprofit and we also include our training in the membership. So this isn't the kind of facility where you walk in and we hold your hand the whole time. This is the kind of place where we teach you those skills like how to use a soldering iron, how to inspect your board, the basics like that, and then you pick up your project from there. So we can teach you how to solder. There are all kinds of soldering stations in here, meters, power supplies, leads, inspection tools, pretty much anything you need to go through electronics production.
Who does your inventory?
What's that?
Who does your inventory?
The inventory is pick and pull. So
Okay.
this side here is the RC Aeronautics lab, so everything that flies on our boat kind of lives in this room. Now, you are welcome to come in here and work on your own drones. We also have a drone racing league that comes in here, and they're teaching people how to build high-speed drones, do all kinds of stuff like that. So they meet here just about every other week. Other than that, this is a place where you can kind of come in and use all the tools that are here. We have spare parts to pull from, all sorts of stuff. We even have a simulation area, so if you've never flown before, one of the big barriers to getting into remote flight is the first 16 times that you crash your plane into a tree. So we actually offer a simulation area over here where you can get the feel of the controls and start to understand it before you put that plane in the air. Come on up, we'll run over to the laser area. Hi, puppy.
They're gonna give you something about Tuesday, and we'll be like, okay. Because the website says that she could probably get it tomorrow. Okay.
So this side here is the print shop, but also the area for the laser cutting. You can kind of just run that around the room, but this is actually just a basic example. This is just run through felt being cut on the machine, but this is actual cutting from the laser. It will do paper, wood, and it will also do leather. And I can show you guys an easy example on the leather in just a second.
That's just a spoil.
This kind of looks like it looks pretty cool though. Turned out pretty
We were
nice.
cutting out pieces of leather, and this is what we put.
Felt.
Yeah,
Or felt on that one.
sure. That's frameable right there.
We can hook you up.
So as far as the
You can
leather
all
side
those
of
at
things, if you guys kind of meander over here, on the top of the shelf you can see some of the leather pieces that we're making on the laser as well.
It's not good. It's burnt hair.
You want to join in for the high voltage light part?
Jewelry.
You better
I
explain
want
it.
to touch it, but I'm not going to.
Come on over, guys.
Oh, feel free. That one's,
It looks a little typical.
yeah, that one had an accident, so it's already fixed.
We call this back to the beginning.
Ja, das ist where they started. Meine Herrschaften, Sie kommen jetzt in den interessantesten und gleichzeitig geheimsten Raum meiner Fabrik. Der High Voltage Lab.
You're now coming into the most interesting lab
Was that,
that we
The
have.
rest of it will be in
was that
German then?
Hertz?
Yes.
Dr.
Und der interessantesten und gleichzeitig geheimsten Raum meiner Fabrik. The most interesting and also the most secret.
Yes.
In my factory. Does anybody know what that's from?
Willy Wonka.
Very good. That's obscure. This, run it.
I think the second depth.
Yeah, it's the original, it's the old school. So this is a brand new high voltage cage. Now you've all seen chain link fencing setups before. Usually it's to keep people out. In this instance, it's to keep lightning in. In a few short months, we will be blasting 20-foot lightning bolts at about 2.5 million volts, give or take, across this space. And this cage, if you can try this at home. Outside your house, probably connected to your main electrical box and a cold water line, will be a ground rod. You will have this next to your house somewhere. So it'll look like a copper stake about as big around as your thumb, sticks out of the ground about that high probably, with a big piece of bare copper wire clamped to it. Your whole house runs one of those. This whole building runs with one. Every building you've ever been in America has one. This room has 12, because we have to dissipate all of that energy somehow. And this cage is tied into those 12 ground wires. You can, when you leave, if you look on the east end of the building, you'll see conduits that go out every few feet, all along the entire wall and all that this wall. And that's all the ground rods. Each conduit is one ground rod at the bottom. And our ground rods are actually underground because West Side go, and if you leave copper to the outside, some meth head will stop by and find a way to pull it out of the ground. This is such a prevalent problem in this neighborhood that our air conditioning system that used to sit at ground level out here, some dude destroyed a $5,000 air conditioning system so that he could steal about $1.50 worth of copper. This actually happened to us.
Sink of 8 feet.
And it's actually, they sit about 1.5 feet under the surface of the ground. Just the cable goes right down, and the conduit goes right down into the ground. It's just plastic conduit.
Did you hit water table there yet or no?
No. Water table here, and you can see exactly where the water table is if you're ever curious. If you're standing in our basement, the water table is about that far below the surface of the basement floor, because we have a vault that if you open it up, we have probably about a 12-gallon sump.
Okay.
We fill it in about 30 seconds, and it never stops. It's continuous. And thankfully it's going that way. We got to learn all about this because the gas station next door had a UST leak.
Right.
And we had dudes in bunny suits, and they set up their mobile command station in our backyard, and the DEQ and the DNR and PBS and God knows who else all had field work. So, yeah. Also, that is Mars. And it's part of a big demonstration we're doing. We've just got it laid out here so we can kind of take the wrinkles out. But this is just an example of the kind of stuff we do here.
Is it the full thing? You go from 0 to 180 plus or minus 180?
Yeah, that's Mars.
Wow.
And sent us this giant map of Mars and said, do something cool with it. So the idea is, we do a lot of stuff with FPV aircraft. All the guys are doing racing drones where they have the goggles and that. So we're going to make a Mars rover. And students will get to come in here and drive the Mars rover with FPV remote control. But there's a twist. When you're driving a real Mars rover, there's about, give or take, 15, 16 minutes between when you tell it to do something and when the command gets there for it to do something, and then there's another 15, 16 minutes for that information to come back so that you can see what it did. We're going to put a 30-second delay because we're dealing with school kids. And you'll be able to drive it, but you won't be able to be in this room when it drives. One team will be in here and get to see it actually move. The other team will be commanding it. And between when they tell it to do something and it does it is 30 seconds. Between when it does the thing and they get to see it did something is another 30 seconds. So with that 1 minute delay, it's really hard just to drive something from here to here and pick a thing up or take a picture of a rock or something like that. So it's solving real world problems. That's kind of cool. And that's the important. This is going to live in a different room. This room is for lightning explosions. So, and always fresh paint. We set this room on fire with surprising regularity, so there's always nice fresh paint.
So you have some volatile gases to set on fire?
Not so much the volatile gases, but the energies that we play with in this room, like that, is just a small power supply. It's 75,000 watts at 1 amp, continuous duty for an hour. And it'll do that at 75 kilovolts. So that one thing there is like, that's a normal power supply. Sitting on the other side of that wall right now are two about 250,000 watt power supplies at like 15 kilovolts, and 4 100 kVA power supplies at 15 kilovolts each. And then we get into like the impulse stuff. That blue cabinet there in this table is Project Thumper, which will be one of the first demos coming online. That is a 144 million watt impulse generator at 1800 volts.
144 million watts?
Yeah, 1800 volts at about 80 kilometers. It's violent. It's awesome to see it go off. But we call it Thumper because if it's sitting there, and you're out there when it goes off, you'll feel the thump in your chest. The shock wave is impressive.
What's the total? What's the duration of that?
That one is
3,000?
Yeah, it's about 3,000 to a second for that one. Okay. The fast one is that's the medium-sized one. The big one is Project Stomper. That goes in the basement. That we have to put it in a bunker. You can't be in the room when it goes off. It does 1.8 billion watts for 400 thousandths of a second.
2 gigawatts, almost.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's angry.
Nice.
It's
okay.
We build fun toys.
So capacitors?
Yeah, that's all capacitors. They're both all capacitor dischargers. The difference is the capacitors for that one are about the size of a pop can, and the capacitors for Stomper are about 400 pounds apiece.
Are you discharge distance then? Is that how you?
No, for Thumper, it's only 1800 volts, so the discharge, like this is the discharge table.
Okay.
We put a sample on here.
Okay.
For Stomper, it happens, the discharge for Stomper happens inside a stainless steel container that is inside a concrete fiberglass reinforced container that is inside a stainless steel container, and inside that is about 160 pounds of sand that has to get recycled often because we pulverize the sand down to the consistency of talc. And at the center of that is the work cell, the coil, the form, and the quarter. And what we do with it is this.
Oh, nice. Forge?
No.
Oh, okay.
That's done electromagnetically.
Oh, okay. Huh.
And quarters aren't ferromagnetic.
What is a quarter?
That's a real quarter. We sell them.
Really?
He's holding a quarter that's the size of a dime. We sell them in our gift shop.
Huh.
That happens in 400 thousandths of a second. And it can't take 500 thousandths of a second because at 4, the coil stops existing. It just vaporizes.
Is some of the matter missing from
No,
that?
that weighs exactly the same.
Okay.
The density increases. That's
Got a
it.
little fatter. Okay.
Yep.
It's not all silver though, is it? Or is
No, that's just a quarter.
Okay.
That's a standard clad quarter.
Why? What do you do with it?
That's the wrong question.
No, that's the right question. What's a practical application? If I want to teach you about the fundamental forces of the universe, about electromagnetism and stuff like that, I can quite easily get a whiteboard and say, okay, so the unit of potential difference is the volt, the unit of current is the amp, and when we put those together we get the unit of power, that's the watt, and already your eyes are glazed over. Or I can blow shit up, and if you have giant lightning bolts and explosions, now I've got their attention. And if I've got that, I can do something. Most people think that geek is a four-letter word, and they think that science and technology are boring things. The only technology people want to know about is stuff that directly, like how do I send an email, how do I play a video game? And I have a room full of smart people here. If I take all of you and put you in the woods right now, how long until you can send an email? Okay, you have to have foundational stuff to get to that point. And we live in the 21st century. Now geek is a six-figure word. And my job is to get people excited about science and technology because our entire world runs on it and nobody knows anything about it. And we do that in this building with everything from electromagnetic energy to aeronautics to robotics to money to all kinds of stuff. And it's really getting people to realize that you don't have to invent the next big thing to be a multimillionaire. Okay? Be the dude that invents the aglet. How many people know what an aglet is? You all own some right now. Yeah, it's the little plastic thing on the end of your shoelace. I want to be the guy that gets a tenth of a penny for every one of those 90 cents. Okay, you don't have to invent the cell phone. It can be simple. Best job in the world, be the guy that prints wrappers for Wonder Bread. Huge money. Okay, but you have to realize that the people that invent these things aren't gods. And everybody here will have some great idea. Everybody will have an idea that they could have turned into a company. My job is to get them over the hardest part, and that's going from art to part, from concept to creation. It's easy to have something in your head. The first step that eliminates 99% of all the great ideas you'll ever have in your life is write it down. Because you'll have this great idea, and you won't even write it down, and you'll forget about it, and 5 years later you'll see some dude on TV selling it. That's my job, is to get you from, you write it down, to let's build the first 5, because that's hard. If you want to build 100 million of something, that's easy. There's nothing to it. You build factories every day. Making the first 5 of something is hell. And you need all kinds of tools that you don't own, and all kinds of space, and all kinds of smarts that you don't have yet, and all that jazz. You have to learn all this new stuff just to build a prototype. And it's stuff that you don't need to know after you've built it. So if you can have a place that has all the tools, and all the people, and all the help to get you from art to part, now you're off and running. That's why. The purpose of that is shock and awe. It's to get your attention so that I can get you to pay attention for a minute to teach you about electricity or magnetism or anything like that. And it also has one other really awesome practical application that we discovered by accident. The big brother of it downstairs we used to crush quarters, which it turns out people really, really want, and we sell them for 20 bucks a piece. And you invent any machine that you put 25 cents in, press a button, and $20 comes out, and that's a good idea. The other practical application is, we had, in this room, a couple years ago, I had a very high-ranking person in the local government. And this woman, she's a big deal. And she's a little old woman, she's about 3 days older than dirt, and this is the kind of woman who wouldn't say shit if she was up to her nose in. And she is very prim and very proper and very professional. And that went off, and I got her to say a word. And the whole room just went,
priceless.
It was just like, yes! So that was really cool, I like that. But that's the point is, you go to any science center, you go to any museum, you go to the Grand Rapids Public Museum, millions and millions and millions of dollars. And it's like going to my grandmother's house. It's cold, it smells funny, you can't touch anything.
Right.
Okay. No! This is not how people learn. You go to the museum, and everybody here has done this. You've all been to the museum for a school field trip, and it's a screw-off day. It's like, hey, no homework today, cool, yeah. You come here, and you can touch stuff, and you can break things. And this is a place to get messy, and make mistakes, and take chances. And that's the point. I have set this room on fire so bad it shut the building down for several months. That's the point. This is a place where I want you to come here and make lightning and learn how to build Tesla coils, because I'd much rather have you set this room on fire than your house. Because here, mistakes aren't nearly as dangerous, and they're not nearly as expensive, and most often they're not deadly. I mean, we're allowed to kill like 1 Cub Scout a year. More than that, you get in trouble. But that's lost. Build cool stuff, put it on the internet, get people excited. That's our mission.
Much better answer than I expected.
I tried. Also, you've learned something else. The greatest lie in the history of media is when somebody ever writes, Chris Boden spoke briefly. I've never spoken briefly in my life. So, follow me. I'll show you the most terrifying, now you've seen the most terrifying room in the building. We make lightning explosions. I'll show you the most terrifying 10 minutes of my week. Dan, have Taylor show you where to stick that to start a new clip.
Aye, aye.
Thanks, sir.
Rolling.
How many of you know what Guide Star is? Nobody. See, this is one of the problems in our world. Alright, this big, awesome company that's like super duper consumer reports for nonprofits in the United States. It's called Guide Star. And before you donate your $20 to Greenpeace or anybody else, go on Guide Star and look them up. Do your homework. One of the biggest lessons we teach here is to ask questions and demand evidence, because it turns out critical thinking actually works. I'm not just a high voltage guy here, I'm actually the president and founder of the company. And right now, at this moment, you have all toured the entire building and seen every lab and every workshop in the place, and all of our secret sauce. And you've probably noticed by now that there's about 200 cameras throughout this building, and they all feed the internet. And right now, feeding the internet is that one. It goes out live, there is no tape delay. They can see and hear, they can hear me through that microphone, they can also hear the questions that you ask. And there is nowhere to hide, because anybody on Earth with an internet connection can tune in, and they know every week at 12:30 we do the tour, and they know that we do this right after, and they've all been waiting. Because this is hell. For me. For you guys, it's sport. Also, there's a camera up there that has followed you throughout the tour, and that one will go out to YouTube tomorrow. And YouTube, unlike live television, is a very, very long memory. For the next 10 minutes, only 10 minutes, you get to ask me absolutely anything you want. There are no rules to this, and it happens on live television. We do this because I'm the president of the company, and at the end of the day, no matter who is working in this building, it's my responsibility. There are no rules to this at all. They've even gotten boxers or briefs. You really can't ask anything you want. And the reason is because on Guide Star, out of 2,200 nonprofit organizations in the city of Grand Rapids alone, there are only 3 that hold a platinum rating for accountability and transparency, which means all of you donate money to a lot of companies that you don't bother to look up and don't realize where the hell the money goes. And that is not okay. Because if people did, if people bothered to ask questions and demand evidence, the landscape of the nonprofit community would change overnight. And it's my job to make you a giant pain in the ass to get you to start asking questions. So what do you want to know?
What's in your dumpster?
Very little, surprisingly. Because trash is expensive. So everything that is headed out of this building goes through a process, and it starts with, can it be sold in materials? Can it be sold to members? You know, is this useful to somebody? If it's a big ticket thing, is this something that we don't need to be on a space for, but can we give it to somebody? Can we donate this off to one of our satellite chapters or another partnering organization? We partner with a lot of companies, they're all on the wall there. So it's can we get rid of it somewhere useful and keep it as it is? If we can't, we strip it down, and then it gets broken down in components. Metals, plastics, glass all gets recycled because it pays us. I'd rather get, even if it's tiny, I'd rather make enough money to like buy lunch for the gang than pay $400 to have a dumpster hauled away. And so there's the pay side recycling. If we can't do that, can we non-pay recycle it? So a lot of stuff like cardboard, paper, stuff like that. Just can we not put it in a dumpster? And what's left at the very end goes in the dumpster, which is almost universally standard trash. Because we don't compost here. When we have a bigger campus where I have space for it, and neighbors that would tolerate the smell, I'm all for it, but we don't compost here. Short of that, very little goes in the dumpster. I've never gotten that question before. That's a good one. Next, hit me. It's terrifying, isn't it? Because they're like, what do you ask? There are no rules to this, surprise me. People ask about membership. It isn't just, where does the money go? It's like, what can I do here? What do you got? That kind of thing. Yeah.
What's on your roof?
On the roof right now ranges from giant base station antennas. Almost all the heating and cooling for the building is on the roof. We just put a brand new roof on the building this year, and an air raid siren. Also a grill. Okay. There's a grill up there. And a deck. There's a small, 10 by 12 deck that was made out of recycled 2x lumber. That we took a room out, and we had to put walkways on the roof because we wanted to protect it.
Yeah.
So we had a little bit left over at the end, and we made a little deck, and we put a grill on it, and it's cool.
Are you expecting an air raid, or?
No, we've had this tornado siren for years. We have a few of them. And we wanted to, if you're in this building and there's a tornado, you actually can't hear the siren because there's a siren up the street that way, there's a siren up the street that way, but there's nothing down here in the bowl because you're still in the Grand River Valley at this point until you go up that big hill right there. And air raid sirens, like tornado sirens, don't work very well for our immediate neighborhood. And we're like, well, we got one. Why not? And to my knowledge, we have the only tornado siren that is privately owned and connected to the public network because it just works over radio. So when the tornado sirens go off, ours goes up. That's the whole plan on it. And we just got the siren mounted this year. We're doing command and control over the winter, early spring. But if you're in the back parking lot and look up, you'll see it. It's kind of obvious. Next.
Do you have a lot of high schoolers, seniors, juniors that come in?
Yeah, we get school groups. We tend to try and keep them, for coming in volunteering and doing stuff, it's got to be 16 and up. But we do school groups, like field trips and stuff like that, all the time. It's super cheap, and they're all hand-rolled to what that group is doing. It isn't just a canned thing.
How about members?
We have about 35,000.
No, I mean high school.
We have a lot of them. I don't know what ratio is high school, but yeah. A lot of the high schoolers come in usually as part of a family membership. If you want to be a member, it's $20 a month. I know, it's huge expensive. If everybody in your family wants a membership, it's $30. And that's everybody at your address, plus that weirdo best friend that never leaves. Okay, everybody has the one weirdo best friend who's always at your house. Yeah, that's family. They can come. Okay. Yeah, you had one.
Yeah. Do you have to get permission before going into any of these labs?
Some of them, yes. And you'll see labels on stuff that says you need one-time permission to use this tool, which basically means we need to teach you how to do it so you don't break the machine or kill yourself. You're used to an environment, out there in the real world, everything is controlled by lawyers and insurance companies. I think that's bullshit. I think that we've worked really hard to raise a generation of people that have no idea what personal accountability and responsibility is because the whole world has nerf edges on them. And that scares the hell out of me because they're going to vote. So this whole building threw that idea away. I have 5 insurance companies and God's own legal firm. But because of that, we're allowed to have a building where you're actually responsible for your personal safety. Actions have consequences. You have to clean up after yourself. And there's 3,000 ways to die in this building the minute you don't respect the wrong thing. The high voltage lab is filled with things that will decorate your body into the ceiling the moment you don't respect them. I'd rather have that than not be able to do anything because we have to protect the wee precious children. No, screw it, let's kill a few. I'm okay with that. I firmly believe that the kid that eats too many marbles doesn't grow up to have kids that eat too many marbles. So let's make a place where you can get hurt. Stupid hurts, that's the point. And it turns out if you put some faith in people and actually say, you can be responsible for yourself, they overwhelmingly will step up and do that. I've never met this dude in my life, but I'll bet all the money in my pocket against all the money in your pocket that he's smart enough to know if you're using drill press, don't drill a hole through your thumb. It's going to suck. This isn't rocket surgery, man. This is simple grandpa common sense stuff. We teach that here because everybody else is scared to. That's the trade-off. Next.
What's been your return on Bitcoin so far?
I do all right. Our typical return with Bitcoin, our purpose is absolutely educational. Like we have set up, and we're probably, if not the first, certainly one of the first organizations in the nonprofit community. Like we've been around 23 years. We're an established institute that have set up an endowment in crypto. And like you can go on our website and donate, not just in Bitcoin, but Litecoin, Ethereum, even Bitcoin Cash. And we teach classes on it. In fact, I'll be teaching the Bitcoin class today. It's every other Saturday at 4 o'clock. And we buy and sell it. After fees and insanity, we consistently make about 4%. Like day to day, we make about 4%. So it's just enough where we're not losing money on it. We have bad weeks. Like if the price gets screwy because it's Bitcoin, we lost 7 grand in 1 week. That was a bad week. But overarchingly, we get about a 4%. That's separate from like, I have personal holdings, but that's totally different. Yeah, but the company, about 4%. And we buy and sell every cryptocurrency that you can reasonably get a wallet for over the counter. And we'll teach you how to set up a wallet, and like, it's all educational. It's how does it work, how can you do it securely. Next, you got a minute 12. Give me a weird one. You guys are easy. It's so quiet. Taylor does the tours, and everybody's very quiet. I'm used to dealing with 5th graders where it's like, guys, just did. Grown-ups are way easier.
Worst injury that you've had?
We've only ever had 2. 1 staff, 1 member. In 23 years, we've only ever had 2. Staff member, before we were, like years before we opened to the public, was cutting a pipe out of the ceiling. And he was a big dude. And the angle grinder kicked. Like the pipe came down, the grinder bit a chunk off the wheel and it kicked. And he had a big, like 8-inch angle grinder. And the wheel took a chunk out of his hand, or his arm. Like he got a big cut in the arm because the grinder fell. And he went out to the hospital and got like a dozen stitches and he was fine. And one member was a little old lady who was using a table saw. Table saws are like ridiculously dangerous. Oh my God. There's a reason why we pay thousands. Like you can go to Home Depot and buy a table saw for like $300. Ours costs like $3,000 because we have a saw stop. You can run your hand into the table saw in there and it won't hurt you. No problem. You're going to break the saw and you're going to spend $100, but it won't actually hurt you. You ever play with a touch lamp?
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? Like my grandma had one, a touch lamp, right? Same thing on a table saw. If you touch the blade, a little explosion happens, like literally an actual explosion. Pulls the blade down and stops the blade within like 1 turn. And it just stops and sucks and it makes a hell of a noise and you'll pee a little, but it won't hurt you. And it costs $100 every time that goes off. That's cheaper than just walking in the door of the emergency room. So yeah, I'm thrilled to have it. But before we had that, we had a little old lady cutting a butterfly for her garden. And using a table saw is really simple. You line everything up, you turn the saw on, you take your piece of wood, you put the wood on, run it through, you separate them, you set them down, then you turn the saw off. This isn't hard. You can teach somebody how to do this in 5 minutes. She didn't do that. She made the cut, and then let go, reached down and turned the saw off. And when she got about here, because it's vibrating, saw, it grabbed a piece of wood and it threw it right into her face. It broke her dentures in her face. And she ended up getting half a dozen stitches and a new set of teeth. And it scared the hell out of her, but it didn't really hurt her that bad. And I drove her to the emergency room and hung out with her, and that was fun. But 23 years so far, those are the only 2 injuries we had. Like, that matter. Anything where you're not going to the hospital, that doesn't count. That's just, man, we've had more smashed knuckles and skinned knees and bruises and scared the hell out of yourself. I scare the hell out of myself every week. Yeah, that's just normal. All right, so this is what you need to know. Membership here is a whole $20 a month. That's it. You spend more than that on fast food. You know you spend more than that on fast food.
I do.
You got that Taco Bell look about you. It's all right, so do I. In these doors, you have more tools right now that you can use today than Home Depot on Alpine has for sale. This is a place where you can come to design, build, create, explore, learn anything you want at your rate. It's nothing like any school you've ever been to in your life. The rules here are completely different. I can give you the space, the tools, the brain power, the help, everything. The one thing I can't do is get you off your butt and in gear. That's all on you. But, get off your butt. Go over there, right now, and talk to Taylor and say, shut up, take my money, because I want you all to sign up and I want you to come here and build the next big thing, because you're going to invent the next activity. Or at least you're going to learn how to weld, and that's just fun. It's like super glue from that. So, thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
And I found the beacon!
Oh, yeah.
Captain to Ed, I found the beacon. It's in the lobby. That's the blinky light. Dan, they're all yours. Taylor, they're all yours. Where's my camera? Oh,
Right over here.
it's up there.
Still working.
1858 hours, and Funky is rocking out in the rack with Ed. Tell them who you are, tell them your name, what you do.
I'm Jordan Sabo, just started coming here as a member and volunteer a few months ago, and I'm a forklift driver at Menards, and I also just got my associates in electrical engineering.
Kick ass! So this is Jordan,
Yes.
and he's helping out, he's doing a lot of volunteering in high voltage. And this is the new high voltage rack in its new spot, which does not require a giant cable way over here with all the shit. Like, it's wholesale overhaul of the room. So this is tour of the rack. We've got up and top, thank you to Nietzsche, is our Shure BLX4. That's my wireless headset mic setup. And then we've got just a radio in here. A lot of this is used for like just during work hours for tunes. We've got our Orban 9200, which is our Optimod audio processor, because we broadcast from this room a lot. There's going to be a whole lot of broadcasting from this room in real time to the live stream. You'll notice there's 8 camera feeds up there, so it's going to be a thing. And then we've got a ratty old Mackie CR1604 Classic, the original right there. It's shit, but it's the mixer we have, and it's better than the mixer we used to have. So there's that, because we got to be able to have mic 1 and 2, computer audio, and God knows what else we're going to feed, because there's microphones around the room, stuff like that. And then coming down we have the computer. This will be this computer here, which is an HP ProDesk, something or other, I don't know. Generic, basic little computer. It's under a pair of Crown 280A amplifiers. These amps feed the speakers up there, because having just a couple really big speakers in this room sucks terribly. So Ed did a hell of a lot of work to hang all those speakers and get them up there so that we can have speakers right over where the audience is, and they can be at a relatively low volume, but because the speakers are right where the audience is, they don't get the echoey, shitty sound of the entire room. And so that's the little speakers. This will feed the 2 small speakers over here. They'll be bigger, but these are tunes for like just rocking out here in the workspace area. This area now, where it used to be high voltage storage, this area now is workshop, high voltage workshop area. And then on the bottom we have the big AGCOM amp, and that's reserved for future use. But it's a nice GFA 545-2 ADCOM. And that is the tour of the rack. In back, Funk is putting it all together and wiring everything up. So that'll be working tomorrow, which will be cool. And Jordan brought over, Jordan, who has not dusted a damn thing yet, brought over his 6-inch coil. I'm going to wind that for him on the winder, which will be a pretty awesome thing. So you'll see that in a couple weeks once we start getting, that's probably going to be the first project that happens in the new space. And you're like, it'll take us a couple weeks before we can do it, but once we can do it, it'll be done in 2 days.
I'll be here bothering you about every week anyway.
I support this idea. And we got the strobe up. Ed and Jordan did that. And they're about to remount this old light, and that's the pilot light.
Because the captain said so.
Yes, so this is about to happen. But the other light is up and running. That's masking from when we painted.
Yeah.
So there's going to be 8 cameras in this space. 8 fixed cameras Maybe eventually we'll be able to upgrade some to PTZs, which would be really cool. But 8 camera feeds from this space to master control, and that's going to be huge. You guys are, it's all for broadcast. It's all to be able to share everything we do with as many people as possible. And you can watch this on thegeekgroup.org/live. Also, I would like to personally extend an invitation to all of you to start hanging out in our IRC chat room at irc.thegeekgroup.org. Main room is pound the geek group. So yeah, get in there, check it out. We should start.
Pound the geek group.
We should pound the geek group.
I say we should hash the
Well, now it's hashtag the geek group, but it's an IRC. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, it's hashtag symbol. The geek group is the main IRC room. Get in there, check it out. You're all invited. You're going to start seeing a lot of things happening in there. We've been doing massive overhauls on the live stream, and you might even start seeing me do live shows real soon if you're hanging out in the IRC. If enough people want live shows, I'll get back into doing live shows.
He wants to do live shows.
I want to do live shows. I miss it. We're into winter time, so I'm going to start doing live shows again.
I miss running the consoles.
Yeah, we can take this down to the engagement.
That's what I'd do. Did you mark out the holes?
Yeah.
All right, then you're set.
And we need...
So that's the day. You guys have fun. That's today's Captain's Vlog. And since today was one of the Bitcoin class Saturdays, if you check my Patreon channel, there is one of my Bitcoin classes will be in there. So I think they got the whole thing today. I don't know. I had Taylor shooting a blog, so we'll see how that turns out. You guys have fun. I'll see you tomorrow.